Ryan, you have been at TikTok. I just looked it up for over 5 years, which is certainly longer than probably a lot of dealers have been paying attention to TikTok.
Yeah.
When you first started, I know you've got a rich background in automotive coming into TikTok. What was like a big objection that you were starting to get from dealers right off the bat?
Well, thanks, Andrew, for having me. 5 years, I can't believe it. It's wild. When I first started, there was no auto vertical, so it was literally building a strategy of how TikTok can be a part of the dealer community based on my background. I quite honestly moved from Detroit to Austin thinking I was out of automotive, and then 3 months later, they go, "Hey, you're from Detroit, no auto, build this up for us." The first year was just general education of like the platform, what it means, what it looks like, what the opportunity is for dealers. And I think we really just hit that home for 2 years straight when I first started. It was all about a message of everyone's a creator, and the ability to create content that goes viral, that can lead to business impact, and everyone to experiment and have fun and tell stories in a different way they weren't used to. And that was really the first 2 years. It was not selling ads. It was basically educating everyone about this unique channel and this movement that was happening between, this moment of culture, the world's greatest entertainment engine, and this rapid growth that we experienced from our community, and wanted them to be a part of it. The OEMs were really great. I was very surprised about how welcoming they were to talk to dealers and give us the opportunity to tell this story and start experimenting. And that was really the first 2 to 3 years, I would say, on that journey. I was pulled off a little bit of auto, did a little break on travel, and then came back in July of last year to finish what I've started. So excited to be here today talking to you and talk about what the opportunity is for dealers.
Same. So the grass is greener in auto than it was in travel. It's good to hear.
It's different. It's funny. It's cool when you come back to auto. You look at it from a little bit different perspective, right? Like I've worked across dining and travel, the largest advertisers in the world, some of the smaller, high growth players. And you kind of look, once you get out of the ecosystem, you come back and say, how would you do it differently based on, the core challenges and business outcomes that these dealers want to accomplish. And I spent a lot of time talking to everyone about their journey and thinking about how do we tell a story that's meaningful? How do we develop solutions that are what they care about? And what are the blockers, right? Like we've been around for 5 years. It's been a long journey, but we look at the amount of attention versus the investment of what we're getting at this stage of the game. We got a long way to go, and we're excited to earn that trust. And it starts by telling a story that resonates with them, right?
Totally. And it sounds like you and the lean team that you have been more focused on like getting out in front of dealers and tier one opportunities and the agencies within automotive to really get the narrative out there. And I saw that you were at NADA and you did a presentation. I didn't know it was happening, or I would have tried to catch it, but I heard it was wall to wall crowded with dealers. So the market affirmation sounds like it's there. How'd it go?
Yeah, it was a really cool moment. It was our latest automotive buyer journey research that TikTok just did. It's on our blog, and I'll make sure to include that as part of the webinar here. One, like we have robust OEM partnerships, primarily at the national level. That have been, we're a major partnership, and we value those. It feels like finally coming into 2026, the tide has shifted into, all right, we know what we're doing at the national and regional levels, but what should we be doing for dealers? And that was what that NADA presentation was really all about. It was really cool to see that type of support from the dealer community at NADA. It was the day before it opened. It was wall to wall. I was like, I don't know if anyone's going to show up, but they did. It was awesome. And we heard a lot of great feedback. I think what it signals is TikTok is here. It's a pillar of the dealer marketing ecosystem. It should be based on attention, incremental audience, and this uniquely engaged, community that, quite honestly, it's hard to reach and to get their full attention. So we're in an omni-channel world. You have to go where the eyeballs are and the attention is, and hopefully the presentation echoed that statement home.
Yeah, and I've always liked, like, as soon as my agency really started advertising with Meta for dealers, it was before a lot of dealers were there. Yep. And these dealers were spending tens of thousands of dollars a month and really seeing a big return because there was a lot of attention there and there was no eyeballs. So it was this white space. It was just like, it was like the blue. Have you heard the blue and the red ocean? So like the blue ocean is just like, it's wide open, it's brand new, but there's a lot of education involved in it and a leap of faith to start something new. Then it's the red ocean where it's just like, we're all competing for these same dollars and there's a ton of competitors. So I feel like that's where TikTok has a foothold right now.
I think that's right. I've never heard that analogy, but I like it. I think the reality is we have an awareness issue about what dealers should be doing. In January of 2025, we launched our first global rollout of a vertical product built specifically for the automotive category called Auto Ads. We did a V2 version in June of last year, which was our Smart Plus AI-powered targeting toolkit, and the results are incredible. Like, I think that the hardest part is, are you meeting the needs and the expectations of a product like this? And is it playing across tier 1 and tier 3 of dealers of all sizes and different use cases? And yes, and the cool thing is that we're seeing this performance from this product and we're really excited about it. But we also need to engage the partners, the agencies, the OEMs, and the dealers with constant education about what they should be doing, what the product entails, and meeting where they are. And I think this is kind of the foundational product. If there's one thing dealers should be doing, is promoting your inventory on auto ads on an incremental channel where your audience is spending a movie's worth of time. Like, that's our take. There's a lot more you should be doing and could be doing, but at least at bare minimums, if you needed to get started on one thing, there's a transactional automated solution that takes an inventory catalog, targets in your market for the best user to the right vehicle, drives them the VDPs, and is performing as legacy trusted industry partners expect in a very short period of time too.
Yeah, and so I think to spell it out, like I always talk with dealers, I'm like, AIA, and you got the VLAs and the stuff, and then it's like to make sure that they understand what those things are, like the vehicle listing ads on Google search, the automotive inventory ads on Facebook, just having carousels that are hopefully showing relevant inventory to in-market shoppers. And it sounds like that, and you guys have been doing this for like over a year now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it sounds like the results are starting to turn people's attention.
I think that the results are exciting to people that try this product and jump in. I think inventory promotion as a tactic across the dealer community has been accepted and proven from a lot of different studies and from a lot of different vendors and a lot of different channels as a tactic that drives sales lift, right? Like that it's an adopted and it's a tried and true tactic, and we want to be a part of that as an incremental source. And we feel confident that our performance deserves that, right? Not just the audience piece, but like the performance there. But I also think there's a lot more to do and a lot more work to prove to the market. I think we're seeing the measurement shift happen a lot. I think it's funny, like I said, I came back into it, but this ecosystem grew up under a last clip form submit ROI thinking, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just the reality of that's what dealers, they need to capture demand. I'm seeing a really interesting shift happening for the first time in a long time about this transition from just demand capture to incremental demand generation and the changing the allocation of media spend. I've heard you guys talk about it with your dealers as well, but it's something that seems like it's at the forefront. Instead of giving credit to the finance manager who closed the deal, what about the 3 months of work and countless emails and texts and calls and conversations that the salesperson took? And I think that's where discovery, evaluation, these were probably a little underrepresented in the funnel for dealers, and it's coming to the forefront, especially with the advance of video investments.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of the, like in my observation, like a lot of the newer, younger dealers coming in understand that potentially with their manufacturer, their dealership, they're not going to get a lot of really qualified buyers coming through lead generation efforts. And if we can,
yeah, no, you go ahead on that. Where are you going with that?
I'm just thinking like to know that having things like good videos and having relevant content and educating consumers about the vehicles they have on their lot and doing things that aren't necessarily step 1, tap the ad, step 2, submit this form, step 3, we're going to hopefully call you back really quickly, versus being like, hey, these ads, I'm going to look for reach. I'm going to look for frequency. I'm going to look for people watching the video. I don't want them to click, but if they do, that's great. But the purpose of these ads is for us just to get attention. Where these ads, we're going to be more direct response. Let's get phone calls, clicks, messages, leads.
Yeah.
I'm finding more success having those conversations than I used to.
I agree. I think there's a culture shift about, I think led with video storytelling, that they've seen inbound demand from a video go viral, right? And people, and they've heard anecdotally about the 4 reps that are killing it from social media promotion, like on TikTok. Like, they obviously know that there's something here. And I also think we're getting into a place where you're competing at a much more broader scale. So incremental demand is becoming more of a forefront. Like, you're not going to grow your sales numbers unless you're bringing demand to the pipe beyond a 30-day window, right? It's consistent. It's always about making sure you're pushing that demand and you're top of mind. And I think that there's 2 buckets of ways to win incremental sales. It's you are selling the value proposition of a product or video, and pricing, feature messaging, comparison shopping. Like, if it's if you're a truck buyer in your market, there's 3 trucks you're competing against. How do you tell that story, the differences? How do you educate them on that? Because it's a passive shopping experience. It's not just, I'm in market right now for a car. I was using this in another webinar about a Jeep with my wife's SUV, but she yesterday was telling me that I want a truck. 5 trucks I'd probably look at right now. And guess what? As soon as I am making that decision, the more truck content in my For You page right now, when I have a few minutes to take a breath on TikTok to decompress at the end of a long day, getting some good truck feature messaging takes that down from 5 to 3 to 2. And now we're in a game where you are basically going after me and my market between these. They know you can find out that I am interested in a truck. It's 2 makes or 2 models. The best dealer wins. And sometimes that discoverability piece of like getting a good truck content or a promo or an ad or something, comparison video, gets me to click. I want to go talk to you. I'm ready to buy now. I was waiting for 3 more months, and you were never going to get that customer without that video. But that's the way it works now.
Yeah, and I like it. Like, what I love about social media as an advertiser is that's where people are when they're bored. They have some time to kill. And so that's, if we can get in front of the person at the right, at that time while they're spending time on social media platforms, they're going to have time to look at us. They're going to have time to watch our video. They're going to have time to come to our website. They're going to have time to see this video of our general sales manager showing why the Silverado versus the F-150. And what I'm seeing too is like those metrics, if I'm able to get people to engage with like video content, that person's going to stay on my dealership's website for 1 minute and 45 seconds versus 3 seconds.
Yeah.
It's a much more meaningful, trusting relationship, I feel like.
I think the research that we showed at NADA said that 75% of the response from our research said they discovered vehicles on TikTok. And I think, to your point, there might be efficiency gains from bringing new customers to the fold higher in the funnel than in that research, like I'm ready to buy now type of model where we spend so much of our funds. I think TikTok has a role there as well. But I think, to your point, there's efficiency, and there's a very interesting conversation I think the entire industry is having right now about the value exchange between customer profile A that you described and customer profile B that we've been obsessed over.
Yeah, and
I shouldn't have said that one, but I mean, I think
no.
I think we are obsessed, and I think that's totally fine. By the way, there's limited budgets. I want to know if I'm getting ROI for this, and it's really easy to say ROI in a short window of last click, and that's really easy to defend to your boss, to your owner, right? Like that, and even as a partner in an agency, I get it. Like I have no issues with that. But I will say there's a shift of the most sophisticated marketers that either built consumer brands from the ground up, from small teams, or the most incredible consumer brands, especially as discovery and search is changing. There's a flip. It's not demand capture, it's demand gen. It's consistent, and it's a very thoughtful, full funnel strategy. And I'm hoping that all of the dealers listen to these conversations and say, hey, maybe I should think about this a little bit differently, and broaden the view of measurement and how they spend on which channels and where.
Yeah. And, and something that stood out, and is this true? I'm not sure where I pulled this up, but like over half of TikTok's in-market auto audience isn't active on Meta.
There's a third-party study that says that. It's not official from TikTok's lens, but there's definitely incremental audiences and a variety of studies that show that the lift from either a channel like CTV or OTT or other social channels, that there's an incremental audience that exists only on TikTok and is easier to reach. And I think that's the main value prop of why we're aggressively pursuing the dealer community. Is we want to be a part of it. We want to be a friend. We want to be a champion. But at the same time, the incremental audience alone, I think, and the time spent is the main reason why you're on the channel in the first place. If you believe in that, then you will spend money on TikTok. Our ad performance, we're very confident to keep on innovating and our product set, but like you're buying it for that reason if you believe in it.
Yeah, and my like experience with like the audiences and the targeting with platforms like TikTok is the longer you guys are available and you have pixels on all the dealerships websites and the third party marketplaces and car gurus, and it's going to continually get a better signal of who's in market.
I think
is that true?
That's true in the sense that the Smart Plus in-market targeting that our auto ads product is built off of is using machine learning to constantly refine what vehicle are you in, how in market you are based on the KPI. So I think to your point, the more time we have and the more learnings we have from our targeting capabilities, the better performance will be. So we're really excited based on only being in for 9 months of our new Smart Plus automotive ad suite that we're already in the game and sometimes exceeding benchmarks of established partners and channels that are trusted by the dealer community. So we're excited about it, and we think we can get better.
Yeah, I agree, and it's just starts to happen naturally. Like it just gets better signal, and then I know you guys are like able to ingest audiences, and we've been pumping audiences into TikTok for targeting purposes and getting a good match rate from people's cell phones, emails to TikTok profiles.
Yeah.
So now we can advertise to people. Do you see many dealers or advertisers or tier one tinkering with uploading audiences?
Yeah, I think that in-market audiences and audience strategy is a big differentiator in this ecosystem, right? So we have to have the capacity to meet the market for their needs, and we definitely offer custom audience uploads and lookalikes and retargeting off those site visitors. It's definitely something a lot of our partners are taking advantage of. I think, to me, there's a journey of where to go with every platform, right? Where you start with broad and you start with baseline, then you start experimenting and you find what works best for your business. And that's where a lot of the conversations I spend my time right now is getting the agencies, the dealers aware of, here's something that's turnkey as a baseline that's proven to deliver X as a starting point. And here's all the things you can experiment with and capabilities to make it your own and extract more value based on your unique needs. And my hope is that the marketplace experiments enough to a place where they all have a firm POV of like, I know how I'm going to do this based on my client's needs, my dealer business profile, right? My business outcomes. I think we're past the point in an omnichannel world where it's one size fits all. We go out to market saying, if you're going to do anything at bare minimum as a starting point, automotive inventory ads in your market with Smart Plus is like blocking and tackling foundation one, every dealer on there. But there's a lot more experimentation, to your point about audiences, remarketing, shared audiences, video views, different landing pages, for God's sakes. Like there's a lot of innovation that we're excited to watch dealers take advantage of.
Yeah, and I like it too, having like a product that performs and is a low barrier of entry, where you don't need to get film crews, you don't need to find the champion in your dealership that's going to be, kind of the face and the energy behind recording a bunch of content, but you can get something live that's going to be attracting attention.
Yeah, it's funny. Like if you would have told me years ago that I would be starting with a inventory carousel, non-video creative on TikTok, the world's leading entertainment platform, I was like, really? But it is the entry point. It is a low lift, proven starting point. And the good news is carousels and because it's a video platform, they actually stand out, right? And I think that's a big part of it because you're not used to seeing a carousel on everyone's For You page when you're screening. So it kind of stands out. And I think that it's a great starting point to build trust, to show performance. And then long term, I think video creative and the quality of creative that partners and dealers can create will outperform. But we're very confident that carousel meets the needs of the market today.
Totally. It definitely does. It's meeting the market where it is. Mm-hmm. And then the next step is like to get the video content created. And what I'm finding that's helping is like we're sending all of our dealerships like lapel mics.
Oh,
and a QR code on how to shoot stuff. And here's our best performing creatives that go over the certified pre-owned process and how you guys, do a thorough inspection of each vehicle and do that in 30 seconds. We'll edit it. And it's starting to work where we're getting a bunch of dealers to buy it in to making that content. And if not, it's okay. We can do substitutions from our side, but it's more impactful if you guys are able to shoot content. Do you get much involved with the creative? Like if a dealer had an iPhone and no video experience, really kind of like a step in the right direction to start creating their own content?
Yeah, it's funny. So everyone's a creator, and I laugh. I go, you think about how many dealers and rooftops are in the United States and what I'm trying to engage with. A small percentage of those are going to end up being creators. Let's be frank about it. Not everyone's going to be a creator. We can try. We hope that they are, but we're always welcome. Everyone's a creator in these days. Your people, your customers. It's the world we live in. And I believe that our role is twofold. We need to provide research of what customers want and expect from dealers. So I think 82% of dealers from the auto buying research said that they want to see dealership content and ads, like they find them helpful and they expect them to be there. So we're giving the arm of like, hey, they want to see from you. What stories you want to tell? Then we give them kind of the data points of walkarounds, features, buying process, comparison shopping, all the data to support a content strategy to enable that. And then the other piece we do is we lead a lot with TikTok tools, whether it be TikTok Symphony for editing, to lessen the lift, working with creators, finding creators, using Spark ads to amplify a viral piece of content that one of your sellers did, right? And you're like, hey, I want that on mine and I want to target in my area. Instead of going viral all over the country, it's nice that I'm going after my owners and lookalikes and site visitors and the people in my market to drive demand into my store. So I think that's where our role is at the moment, is just informing, providing research, inspiration, and tools that allow dealers to create better content.
Yeah, that's cool. And then
Yeah.
still be able to service them where they are. Do they have a full-fledged internal marketing team with creatives and energy, or do they have, a narrow window to start getting things live and they need to sell more cars by the end of the month?
But you know how it is, Andrew, and I'm sure you see with your dealer clients, like everyone wants to know what is exactly I should be doing. I want a very prescriptive formula. And we are in the age of it's a non-linear shopping path. It's a non-linear creative path. There are dealers that sell cars from just doing edits and clips of brand images and walkarounds and doing cool transitions that are the most visible dealers probably in the country for that manufacturer. Then there's ones that are very human focused, like they are the star, the personality, the people are the stars, and the customers are the stars. And like those two approaches are very different, but they all have a role to play and they all have results. So I encourage all dealers to experiment and to see what works, and you never know what hits. And I also encourage to include these in your video assets. Once you have something that really tells the story or that you think it needs to be promoted to a specific audience, you got something that can capture, stop the scroll. That is the best creative at the end of the day.
Yeah. And dude, this reminds me of something. I think it was you that was telling me that there was somebody in a rural market that was selling more Escalades individually than anybody and shipping them all over because of his growth and his following. Was that you?
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, I can't
cool.
say his name. He's a good man, a great creator, talent. We're very lucky to have him as part of the TikTok ecosystem. But I was just actually today making a list of my favorite dealer creators for our marketing team. But it's really cool to see dealers that love creating content, love their jobs, and it comes through and actually drives business outcomes. I think that we all need to do a better job of tracking that, because to me, going viral or getting a bunch of video views, it's kind of anecdotal. Like you don't know, it's not showing up in the report of like, I need to go shop a legacy search engine to the VDP view. I think we're now at a place where like people are reaching out to you and say, hey, I'd love to learn more. Would you have any more of these in stocks? What's the pricing for this? Like the buying process is condensed from point of discovery to interacting with that dealer. And the dealers know how to take that demand wherever they're at and culture it and to bring it forth. They gain market share, and they're competing at a different level than probably what their competitors down the street is.
Totally. Just by being there.
Yeah.
Just by showing up. It's been like so impactful, and just so many early adopters is just to be the one that's there.
Yeah.
And then version 2.0 of being there, that's when you're looking at uploading your your customers who've purchased, who've defected, and trying to get them into the service department and all the creative stuff that tinkerers can kind of grow. So what with the dealership right now, say they have $3,000 a month, they want to start testing out TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any advice of where to start?
Yeah, I think to me, there's a lot of questions like, how much should I spend on TikTok for testing or all that stuff? So I always start back with, do you believe in why are you buying TikTok, right? Like, why is TikTok a part of your media investment channel? And I think that I think it starts with, do you believe that this is where the eyeballs are, that there are 170 million Americans are here, they open up 15 to 20 times, I need to be there. Once you believe in that, I think the conversation is, what should I do? And I think a great starting point for dealers, just based on familiarity, is to look at all of your other media channels and where you spend money over time, and run our Smart Plus auto ads with a carousel, and to get some baseline metrics, and experiment with optimization events to get familiarity of how efficient it is to reach eyeballs, what the CPM, CPR, CPCs, the form submits, like get a sense of that over a period of time, and then use the tools in TikTok for Business and TikTok Academy to start experimenting. There are custom audiences, there are different objectives, the video buys piece. I wish that video was an always on component, because I think it's one of the most efficient ways for dealers to reach a very engaged incremental audience. Like I keep on saying the same sound bites, but the efficiency to captivate attention is part of this business, right? At scale. That is one thing that I hope that they don't undervalue. And then they look at the demand piece of how much demand we're bringing. And I also encourage people, when you look at these investments, extend it. It should not be a 2-week test of seeing if I can convert someone in your market. It should be a longer test. It should be an evolution, and should be looking at different ways to see how this investment impacted the business. For example, our site traffic going up versus one store that was promoted versus not? Is search volume going up over the 3 months comparatively from organically? Like, there's a lot of different metrics I think TikTok awareness and demand should be viewed in, beyond just was able to convert that person that was in market over that 14-day window. And that's that. I take them as thinking broader and believing in why their investment platform, into figuring out what the right investment mix for each individual dealer is. That's a non-answer, a winded one, Andrew, but I think
it's a good answer. And I think in the middle you said optimizing events. Are you talking about like on-site events?
Yeah, I think optimizing to view content on a VDP view and placing the pixel on the site is one thing. I think that's a metric that's kind of the industry best practice of, like, how efficiently can you drive VDP demand is like a metric of qualified traffic. Then there's other ones of, could I use an instant form, right, to do messaging, click to chat, other KBAs to be qualified. I think that just looking at the entire ecosystem over testing TikTok, what are the KPIs and optimization events, and can I take that view saying, there's something here, I need to go further, and how do I scale?
That's a lot. And there's self-serve tools that dealers can get on, and
TikTok for Business, the auto ads piece in TikTok Academy has a great session on how to get onboarded, setting up your business center, getting your ad account set up, making sure your organic TikTok for Business account is set up or created. All these exist on TikTok for Business. It's a very user-friendly site. I think all dealers, the flow is very simplified. And then obviously there's the agency partners have been great. They've definitely rolled in this year. I also encourage asking your OEM for support. We have a lot of best practices for them. So however we can help, we want to be a friend to this. I think we have to earn our spot in this ecosystem and build trust. And it starts by closing that awareness gap.
Yeah, dude, I love it. And if they have trouble setting it up, Dealer OMG is here. I happen to run an ad agency that can help them get it set up.
Nice plug, man. I like it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I didn't ever plug myself on this, but anything else, like, without getting fired, anything else that TikTok auto retail that you're trying to sink your teeth into?
Something that I can say, not get fired. I think one thing that's really exciting to me is TikTok search ads. A lot of dealers don't know about it. I use TikTok search a lot during the research phase. I'll contextualize it because I think it's good for dealers to think about it. I'm no longer just looking for an answer to my question like I would with like an AI chat bot or maybe a legacy search engine. I'm actually looking for perspective, right? At the end of the day, to make an informed decision from people that I trust. And I think that's where TikTok search is a big part of the ecosystem. A lot of people come to TikTok just to search as an entry point, and it's growing year over year significantly. I think that's a really exciting space for us, especially where as consumer behavior changes, I'm going for a date night spot with my wife. I go out once a month with my wife. It's a very sacred thing, but we love going to new restaurants in Austin. We have a list of 10. I'm using TikTok search to really visualize and feel, and to take a look at creators' perspective, if they're like-minded, to get a perspective that ultimately determines where I'm spending my one date night meal. I think the same thing happens on automotive, and I think it's something that's going to be a big topic of this year about discovery and short form search, especially on TikTok.
And so you said there's a paid search
Yeah, we have a search ads campaign within the TikTok Ads Manager. It's available for all dealers now. I think it's a different type of search than what dealers are used to, but extremely, extremely valuable in the research and evaluation phase. I think there's a lot to be learned and experimented for dealers in this, and we're hoping they come along and help us figure it out, because it's a big thing for TikTok, but I think it's also a big part for the dealer business of figuring out what TikTok.
Yeah, and it's like, as a prospective customer, I'd be going onto TikTok, going into search, saying best pickup trucks 2026, or
best SUVs under $65,000, safest 7-passenger SUVs. Think about thematic searches that are in the evaluation piece, and like how you go on this rabbit hole of researching cars, and it's an entry point, right? And I'm not ready to buy right now, but I'm making decisions, and I'm basically refining and starting my search process based on this discoverability piece, whether that be in feed or from the search bar on TikTok, where the data backs it up. And I think it's just really exciting for dealers to think about what that can mean to their business.
It's cool. It's bridging the gap between like the super, you're on TikTok not to find a vehicle, but that's where it's the advertiser gets in front of them and they discover the dealership, they discover, your inventory, versus the search. Like, I'm actually looking for a vehicle now. There's a much higher intent customer right there.
In market now, you have an opportunity to educate me, convert me. I think that's what's so exciting about it. It's different than I'm ready to find dealer A, B, and C at that point for are they open? What's their phone number? It is, I'm deciding where my business is going to go and which vehicle I'm going to win. And I think that the dealers that figure out how to win in that environment, both in feed with video creative ad formats and search, how to show up in search reasonably, I think they're going to see tremendous ROI. Something I'm a big believer in. It's not easy. We haven't figured it all out yet, but the tools are there. Now it's about working with the dealer community and the agencies and the OEMs to figure out what that means for dealers long term. So we're excited for that. It's a fun part of the.
And you're the man to bring it all together, man. You're
auto search maybe someday. It's all coming together, but it's been a fun ride. I'm thankful to be back where I started, to be working with dealers and friends like you, Andrew, and so many players to make TikTok a key channel and platform for dealers. I feel very thankful that I get to be in this role. To be honest, like I feel very good about the investment based on what we're asking for from dealers. These are very sophisticated businesses that manage a lot, and media is a whole nother thing of the equation. How do we show up thoughtfully? How do we show up and build trust? And how do we build awareness that has a POV, but also gives them the flexibility to, not a one size fits all. Every business has different challenges in this game. And we want to be a modular platform that they feel brings demand and ROI.
Totally.
Yeah,
man. Well, you're the right person doing this. I'm
about that. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah,
man.
Dude. I'm in awe of the trail you're blazing right now.
Long way to go. It's been a long 5-year run, but I feel like we have the product, we have the team in place, and we're just really thankful that people like you are reaching out and giving us the opportunity to talk to dealers at scale and to be a part of the community again. I think you cannot build a platform business or a major ad business for automotive retail unless you understand it. And it starts by meeting people where they're at. And I'm hoping that doing my job on that front, Andrew. So thank you.
Totally. Oh, and you'll be at Dealer Profitability Summit.
I will. Thank you for inviting me. Austin's finest.
Yeah, Austin, April 16th and 17th.
That'll be fun, man. You guys did a great job when I went a couple of years ago. I'm excited to be back and make sure I'll bring some original content that hopefully you guys find worthwhile.
Love it. All right, my friend. Thanks a lot.
Good stuff. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it.